Let's talk about variable scope. And variable scope refers to where variables are accessible. And in this example, I have a main function and a function called foo. And whenever you create a variable in a function, it only has scope in that function, meaning that other functions don't know about those variables, so they can have variables with the same names because they're actually different variables. Okay, so I'm going to start with the main function, and you can see here on line 12 that we create a variable x, and I'm going to initialize it with the value 0.0. And then on line 13, I'll create a variable y and initialize it with a 2.0. And then on line 15 it says display x, so just print the contents of x. And so that would, I'll put the display down at the bottom of the screen, and so it would print 0.0. And then on line 16 it says display y, so the contents of y are printed on the next line, so 2.0 is printed. And then on line 17, I'm going to call a function called foo, and I'm going to pass it a copy of y. Just a copy is passed. And so when you pass a variable as a copy to another function, you have to create a variable as a parameter to hold the value that you're passing. So in foo, I'm going to create a variable called y, and when I call foo the first time and I pass it a copy of mains y, 2.0 will get passed to foo's y. So foo will have the value 2.0 in its y variable. Now keep in mind, since the parameter was created in the module foo, or the function foo, it's a separate y than the y that's in main. Two different memory locations. And when I refer to y while I'm in foo, it's going to refer to this y, the y that goes with that function. Okay, so then on line 2, it says declare a real variable x. And then on line 3, set x to the contents of y. So x will get 2.0. Now, again, this x that I'm working with now is separate from the x that's in the main module, or the main function. And then on line 4, it says set y to y plus 1. So we're going to add 1 to y and put it back into y. So now y has a 3.0 in it. And then display x. So since we're in foo, that means display the x that's in foo. So that would be 2.0. And then display y. And y has 3.0. And then we end the module. So the flow of control returns to line 17, and then we will go to line 18. Now, when the foo module ends, that means that those variables are deleted from memory. So now I'm on line 18, ready to call foo again, but this time I'm going to be passing a copy of what's in mains x variable. So that would be the value of 0. So I'm going to call foo, pass it 0, and then in foo it will be stored in the variable y. So I'll create the parameter y and I'll assign it 0.0 because we are passing the contents of mains x to foo, and then foo will store it in the variable y. Then on line 2, I declare a variable x, and I will set x to the contents of y, so x gets 0.0, and then I'm going to set y to y plus 1, so now y has 1.0 in it, and then I'm going to display the contents of x, which is 0.0, and then I'm going to display the contents of y, and I'm running out of room, so I'm just going to go up here to indicate that the output will just continue down. So 1.0, and then I end the function, and I'm going to return to line 18 in the main function and then go on to line 19. So line 19 says display x. Well, this is no longer in memory because we're no longer in the foo function, we're in the main function now. So display x will display the contents of mains x, which will be 0.0, and then display y will be mains y, which is 2.0.